Welcome to Topic Talks, where we talk about the topics you care about and leave out the ones you don't.
We talk about what most news sources don't. Media, movies, and the multiverse.
We even invite guests to come talk topics with us.
Come join in on the fun.
Let's get started. Must you always dance?
I must always dance.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Giant Conversation.
I must dance. You mustn't.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Giant Conversation. This is Topic Talks. I'm your host, Aaron Smith, and obviously, we've got Lucas today.
Hey, everybody.
And then finally, we can grace our presence with Mark.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
This sucks.
I almost forgot your name. You've been gone for so long.
I know, really, it's almost like Lucas has taken over as the co-host.
He kind of has.
This kind of sucks.
There's really not like...
We can't make fun of him anymore because he's here.
No, we can still make fun of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's never stopped you guys before.
It's still acceptable.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
So how have you guys been?
Oh, obviously I've been really, really busy. I haven't even been able to make it here. I got my new job in the field. So,
Woo!
Yeah.
Literally, he stands in the field and says, "That's nice."
That's exactly what I do, actually. No, I'm kidding.
That's a bird.
There you go.
That is a sparrow.
That is my dream, to stand in a field and identify a sparrow and get paid for it.
Stick.
That's a sparrow. That's a starling. That's a superb starling right there.
That's a stick.
Yeah, and that one's a stick.
It's a booby.
But yeah, basically, I finally got into my big gig. This is what I'm doing now. I've been working, weddings and bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, stuff like that, shooting those, and then editing them for this company that I'm working for now. It's a production company, obviously. And,
I figured that.
And they've been keeping me super busy, so busy that the only time I've been at home, I've been sleeping. And during the day, I've been basically going to this production job and then going to the restaurant and then going home. And it's been absolutely exhausting. But
And you're quitting the restaurant.
I am. Actually, my last night as a cook was last night, which was absolute crazy hell, by the way, for Father's Day. It ended up being 100 times busier than I thought it was going to be. It was horrible. And
you should kind of know, though, when it's those days.
Yeah, I know, and it was just I don't know. I feel like they did that on purpose to schedule me on the line.
Just to screw with you.
It's like, okay, this is the last day on the line. We have to get all of our effery done here, and so yeah, it was not fun. But anyways, I'm done as a cook now, and basically I have Tuesday and Wednesday left as a dishwasher, and and that's it.
And that's it.
Took me a minute
that's
to
all she wrote.
Understand what he meant by effery.
Yeah, but anyways, so yeah, I'm happy that this chapter is about to be behind me and the next one's beginning, so I'm excited.
Well, I am happy for you.
Thank you very much.
You get a second applause.
Thank you. I'm here till Thursday.
This one wasn't sarcastic, too.
You're not here until Thursday.
I know, I'm not here.
I would kick you out if you were here until Thursday.
I would not blame you. So that's basically what I've been up to.
Lucas, what have you been up to?
I don't do anything. You know this.
You don't do it.
I do. I sit on my butt all day, and I hope that a job will call me and say, "You're awesome. Please come work with us."
Do you happen to sit in your room?
No, I do not happen to sit in my room.
You do not happen to sit in your room.
On occasion, I will sit in my room.
On occasion,
I will sit in my room, actually.
If I happen to be at home, I'm sitting in my room.
Okay. Well, funny, the reason I brought that up is because you guys will never guess what the number one thing is that you should not do in your bedroom.
Is it?
It is not.
Is it? Wait. I think Lucas and I were on the same note there.
It's hard not to be on the same note.
Is it?
I don't know. Does it have? Oh, never mind.
No.
Is it?
I know what you're thinking. Read the title of the show.
Get your head out of the gutter.
Yeah, there you go.
I wasn't thinking that.
Oh, okay. What were you thinking?
I was thinking, don't let Grandma see your dirty magazines.
No, that is not it. So, according to the Valley Sleep Center, the number one thing you should not do is install and or watch a big screen TV.
Well,
Why is that?
Ain't that some crap, because I got a big TV.
Well, the reason being is it will distract you for hours. So instead of going into your room and going to sleep, you'll sit there and be distracted by the TV for hours.
Well, there's no other reason to have a TV other than to be distracted. So if I'm putting it in there, there's an obvious reason.
Right, but they're saying it'll affect
That's
your
what she
sleep.
said.
They're saying all that HD crystal clear right in your face while you're trying to make the attempt to go to bed.
That sounds amazing.
No, no one can. It's just you won't get that good of sleep. So what they do recommend is if you do have one, that you pick like 2 programs at night that come on every night.
Yeah.
And after like the second program, just
Shut
like
it off.
those are your sleep programs. Just kind of like let you calm down, and then just kind of shut it off. So yeah, that was There's a few other things you
It's
should
good news
not.
for you, Mark. You can get your full amount of Scarlett Johansson that you need in order to sleep. Finish off your night well.
Praise the Lord, hallelujah.
And finish.
And finish.
So some other things you should not do are work. You shouldn't do work while you're in
Now
your bedroom.
define work, because I mean, working in a restaurant, it's kind of hard to do restaurant work. in
No,
your
I mean
bedroom.
like if you work in an
I'm gonna
office,
slap you.
or like if I were to take my computer to bed and sit there and edit,
Mhm.
or sort music, which I have done from time to time. Not edit, but sort music.
Right.
They're saying that's not the best thing to do. Along with
Probably-
loiter
probably
or
put-
hibernate. So
Probably
like,
put homework in that category too. Then.
yeah, you could put homework in that category
For
certainly.
the chitlins out there.
I mean,
For the
it's,
chitlins out there.
I mean, where else am I supposed to do homework? It's not like, with commotion going on around the house, it's kind of hard to do it in the kitchen.
I do it in my
I
office.
mean, if you sit.
I mean, I don't know.
If you're sitting in the kitchen, I wonder why you're sitting in the kitchen.
Right, besides eating.
Exactly.
If I'm in the kitchen, I'm probably stuffing my face.
There you go.
Right,
But,
and then you're not eating, or you're getting food all over your work.
Yeah, right.
Either way.
Exactly.
You should also not loiter or hibernate. Pretty much, you should not put things in your room that are gonna make you stay in your like.
My brother should be listening to this right now. Daniel, hi, how's it going?
Like when you were a kid, and like I don't know if you guys did this, but all my video games were in my room. So like when friends came over
Yeah.
to play video games, you go into your room and play a video game.
Yeah.
They're saying that's not the greatest thing either.
Why not?
It's the same thing. It pretty much tricks your body into thinking when you're in that room you're supposed to be awake
Yeah.
Aaron,
versus going to bed.
you should see the way I have my room set up. First of all, I got my queen size bed, right? Big bed, super comfy sheets, and it's positioned in a way where I don't even have to get out of bed to turn on my huge TV with a theater set up right in front
I think
of me.
he's overcompensating. He's got a big
A
bed
little
and a
bit.
big TV.
No, listen. I have like a theater setup. I have no reason to get out of bed.
Again, overcompensating.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
anyway.
trying to impress people. I mean.
No, I'm not
I
impressing
gotta
people.
He's trying to impress his girlfriend by overcompensating. Anyway, no, and it also says on here use it as a main social gathering, so don't do that. It also says don't decorate. I don't understand. Like my room was decorated. I had
That's another
posters
problem with
up
my
and hoping like it looked pretty cool. It kind of looked like my office, but
Right.
different shaped and
Right, with like the Victoria's Secret posters
Well,
and all that.
let's read
It
further
did have it.
into this because let's number 5. Decorate, don't store things.
Don't store things in your
bedroom
room.
is the only place in your home for sleep and sex. False. And it's not designated for storage and office space. Use the bedroom as a place to create a peaceful, relaxing atmosphere. Paintings, nice rugs and curtains, calm wallpaper, and relaxing light fixtures are simple touches to make your bedroom intimate, perfect for romance and sleep.
Hello.
Any
you
shelves,
can't do the bass voice. He can do it and I can do it, but you can't do it.
Any shelves should only hold pictures, frames, piggy banks, and teddy bears. The closest
Teddy bears.
closet hangs clothes, hats, and shoes. When you have access to random items in your bedroom, it creates a distraction.
I feel like this article is telling me how to live my life, and I don't like that.
I think you just need guidance.
Maybe.
Maybe
He needs a lot of guidance.
y'all need church. And
Y'all
I've been
need
lost.
Jesus. Y'all need Jesus.
I have been found.
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah.
I don't hear nothing no more in my. No,
Oh, you really don't hear nothing anymore?
Yeah, you see what I do with my room is I basically turn it into a gallery. Basically, besides the TV, like I just have like wall scrolls on my dresser. I have like.
And then what do? Stand there naked with a picture frame or something?
Yep, you got it. No,
His
but
girlfriend walks in the room, he's standing there naked with a picture frame.
paint me like
You
one of your
look
French
like-
boys.
Or he walks in and there's a
Easy
present
there,
right in
King
front of him.
Louis.
There's a present, she opens it up.
It's my in a box.
I was just thinking that. But
Full body length mirror.
actually, my closet
You
door is
say-
a double.
No,
pane
he's got a mirror on the ceiling.
No, better yet, he's got a mirror on the floor.
There.
Yeah, I got
On
a mirror on the
both.
floor, on the ceiling, on the closet, on the walls.
His walls, his room's just made of mirrors.
Right. Actually,
I
my
can
closet
see
door.
myself at every angle.
My,
See, I feel like though he would turn into a dog at that point. And what I mean by this
You start.
is you would literally go to look. You'd be like, is that a pimple? And you start spinning around trying to see it.
You see, I'd be the guy who puts like one mirror on one wall and one mirror on the other wall, so they create that infinite, effect.
And then you would run into the wall,
There
trying
you
to go out the door.
You got it. But no, actually, my closet door is actually one of those sliding door mirrors, so that's just totally delightful.
Is it delightful?
It's delightful.
It's
Okay.
it's delightful.
Is it Delilah with delightful?
No, it's
Hey
not
there,
that.
delightful.
Delightful?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyways, yeah, no, I don't know. Literally, this whole list of things you should not do in your room is 100% what's wrong with my room.
Yeah, I think it's wrong for basically everybody's room.
Not really mine anymore.
No, not yours.
No, I really don't like stay in my room that much. Charlie's kennel's in there. We do have a TV, but we never use it.
Mhm.
It's the smallest TV we own. We just
Yeah.
threw it in there, along with the Blu-ray player, which usually gets moved out of there to play Blu-rays in another room.
A tiny TV with
I-
a Blu-ray player.
literally
I feel like that
spend-
defeats the purpose.
I literally spend most of my time either in my office or up in our media room.
Yeah.
That's about it. I don't spend too much time in the bedroom except for when I go to bed.
I hide from people in my room.
I used to do that at my grandma's. I would actually like I would.
Just a note, I'm
She would
going
have
out.
people over, and if there was someone I didn't want, I would just go into my room and watch
I
TV,
don't really-
play video games,
I
whatever.
will see you all later.
You see, I don't really have.
You will excuse me.
I don't really hide in my room. I just don't really have much of a reason to come out.
I mean,
If you like it in
that's-
there, why?
That's your girlfriend's problem, not ours.
Right. Which, by the way, you still need to bring her on the show.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Why?
I can.
He's petrified of what we'll do to her, verbally.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. They're perfect. There it is.
Asterisk.
I think
Huge-
I'm gonna go
huge
and contact your
asterisks on-
girlfriend and say, hey, by the way, Mark was supposed to invite you on the show,
But he said he wouldn't.
but he said he wouldn't.
He-
So I'm inviting you
So
officially.
yeah, Mark said that you didn't have really good thoughts, so we wanted you to bring you on to make sure that.
Piss her off enough so that she'll actually come
It's
on the
like,
show.
all right, listen here, Mark.
Oh God.
I am an intelligent.
No, she's very opinionated. So
I'm
that-
okay with it.
No,
That is what this
no,
show
that's
is
not
about.
Good. No, it's not good.
It is Are you saying women cannot have opinions, Mike?
You
No.
sexist.
No,
That is exactly what you're
You
saying.
misogynistic.
I don't like anybody who's really opinionated. It's not just women.
So nobody can have an opinion now.
No, nobody can have opinion but me.
That makes you opinionated.
Right.
Exactly.
So
Which makes you
I'm
a
a
hypocrite.
hypocrite.
You hate yourself.
I do hate
He's
myself.
a hypocrite.
I never said I don't hate myself.
Oh well, this show just got.
Why are you
dark.
hitting yourself?
Why are you hitting yourself?
Why you-
Why you hating yourself? Why you hating yourself?
God, I'm not the only one that remembers that.
Oh man, it's good to be back.
Is it really?
Is it really? Though?
Not really.
Because see, if you would have actually listened, you would have figured out how much we dogged on you while you were gone.
Yeah, no.
It was actually kind of glorious.
Was it glorious?
It was fantastic.
I bet it was. I bet it was fan freaking tastic.
It was awesome.
Absolutely glorious.
You know it's not usually fan freaking tastic.
What is not?
Welcome to
The Multiverse.
All
In
right.
case you guys
That's it,
forgot,
that's it, I'm
hang on,
going
hang
home.
on. In case you guys forgot, this is the portion where we do, where Mark has his
What
little
about
spiel.
the-
I know he hasn't done it for a while, so I just wanted to reiterate what that was about.
I thought you had another story here.
No,
No?
no.
Yeah, that's it.
Hey,
You
Lucas,
obviously
had
don't
something to
listen to
talk
me
about,
during
too.
the show,
Nope, I don't listen to you ever.
or before the show.
No, you're very easy to drown out.
See, I give you your whole segment and you just drown me out.
Yep, that's exactly it.
We'll blabber away.
Well, anyways, so, okay, well, Aaron, I know you don't really have any tattoos, right?
Not at all.
But Luke is here. I can see that he does. He's got the lantern on his arm and
Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a few.
just
a
a
lot.
few that I can see from here.
Just about $1,000 some odd.
So, what would you say if I told you that there's a type of tattoo that's color changing and basically it monitors your health?
I'd ask you why you took LSD.
Okay. Well, anyways,
Kind of what it sounds like, doesn't it?
Uh,
for many people with diabetes, keeping tabs on blood pressure or blood sugar every day is expensive, time-consuming, and invasive. But researchers at MIT and Harvard are exploring and a creative new approach that could one day help make things easier: biosensing tattoos. These scientists have developed special tattoo ink that contains chemicals that can sense blood sugar levels, pH, and sodium. When blood sugar goes up, for example, the glucose-sensing ink changes from blue to brown. When a person's salt level increases, the sodium-sensing ink becomes a more vibrant green under UV light. When alkaline level shifts, a pH sensor changes from purple to pink. The dermal abyss ink, still in what scientists call the proof of concept stage, alters its hues in response to change in the fluids inside a person's body. It literally becomes an interactive display. For someone with diabetes who has to prick their finger multiple times a day to test their blood sugar level, or who wears pricey blood glucose monitoring equipment and that can be cumbersome during activities like swimming, glancing down on a tattoo to check if blood sugar has dropped or spiked could be a lower maintenance approach to health monitoring. But the technology is still in a very early research stage and has only been tested on pig skin samples, not living, breathing animals, let alone humans.
I love how we test everything on pigs first.
Right?
Hey, you, pig, test this.
The reason that they test pigs with pig skins...
It's because their skin is kind of like ours.
Yeah.
I heard somewhere...
And you can't use it on a cantaloupe, which usually is what most tattoo apprentices do, is use cantaloupes.
Really?
Or muskmelon.
I didn't know that.
Well, this got the same kind of texture as a human skin, so it absorbs the ink the same
I heard somewhere, it's just a rumor that I heard, but I heard somewhere that some scientists were gaining approval to start studying with animal-human hybrid, like embryos and stuff like that. Like somebody was experimenting with mixing pig and human DNA, which honestly I find kind of disturbing.
Right.
Hey, Al Gore, what is it? It's a ember pig.
Ember pig.
Ember pig.
Anyways, though, there are a lot of unknowns in testing it on living skin, including questions about allergies, accuracy, and durability. For some, the idea of a decorative new tattoo that reflects your body chemistry may be appealing, but mostly the scientists say that the goal is to make monitoring of health data easier, safer, and as accurate as possible. Now, I've been hearing about this a little bit, here and there for the past couple weeks now. It's kind of like this up-and-coming new research topic they're working on.
Can I first say, the only time I ever thought about a changing tattoo are the guys who get the tattoos on their muscles of, like, boobs or something, and when they flex, they jiggle. You know what I'm talking about? Those are the only type of changing tattoos that I've ever heard of.
See, that makes me think of that episode of SpongeBob where the guy had a seahorse tattoo, and he would, like, squeeze his tattoos, and, like,
you
the tail
all see it dance.
I had a bowl of nails this morning without any milk.
Oh, right this way, so to keep you waiting. No, I have heard about this, though. It's, I just don't understand. I mean, I guess
you're pretty much putting chemicals into your skin instead of ink.
Well, yeah, which I mean, it doesn't really matter. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter. But it's more of how effective is it, because the reason you bleed to begin with when you get a tattoo is because your capillaries get poked and prodded when the needle puts the ink in. But once those heal up, the blood typically doesn't rub against the ink, because it's down in your dermis, which is your lowest level of skin. But I don't know how much comes in contact with blood.
Right.
So that's my question is, how effective will this be? Because if it doesn't actually react well enough with the blood, what is it grabbing the information from?
Right,
That's the big issue.
Right.
That's big.
Well, I wonder if it can, by sitting, because you said it's because your capillaries are poked and prodded.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just because the ink is sitting right, would be touching your capillaries, wouldn't it?
Well, no, because they would heal.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So they won't be flowing through the tattoo, but I mean, if it actually can sense, I would like to see or find out how it actually comes in contact with the chemistry.
Right. I'd imagine it would be
blood.
something similar, like a mood ring kind of setup, except that it would be with your blood, certain levels of everything in your blood.
Well, mood ring goes by heat, though.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
Exactly. This is a different sensory method.
Yeah, but heat's pretty easy to measure.
Yeah, that is definitely true.
Breaking down micronutrients in your bloodstream is a far more
It
complicated
is a very
process.
different process. Yes, it's a much more complicated process.
Also, I'm very happy that you decided to say the word diabetes like Wilford Brimley and go,
Diabetes. Did you see that one video where they took that dub and put it over like a really fat, furry cat? And the cat moved its mouth, and the cat just said diabetes. It's pretty great. But yeah, no. Either way, though,
Hashtag the things Marx finds online.
There's some bizarre things, let me tell you. But anyways, so yeah, no, I thought this was really interesting. I've been hearing a lot about it lately, and I figured I'd bring it up on the show. I, for one, think that if they can get through the testing stage and, produce a method that actually works, I think that this would be really cool. Again, it would be a lower maintenance approach to health monitoring. Instead of I would rather look down at a tattoo that tells me what my body's doing instead of having to poke my finger, and make it bleed every day, or having to wear special equipment that interferes with my daily activities.
But does it do the same thing as some of the equipment? Because like some of the heart monitoring, I don't think you could.
Yeah, some of the more expensive stuff, like you said, like with the actual like larger packs. The reason people get that is because they need to be ultra specific with what's going on in their body at the time, and if this tattoo doesn't change quickly, or if it's a slow changing tattoo,
like if it takes 20 minutes to change,
and you need a popsicle now, you kind of get into the danger
exactly.
zone.
It would have to be able to measure those very slight variations within a certain time period.
You messed up. Thanks.
I'm okay with that.
It would have to pick up,
either way.
but yeah, it would have to pick up slight variations within a certain amount of time. That way, you'd be able to, react and compensate for the change in your blood.
That, and the thing I'm most afraid of is you're gonna get someone with diabetes who's also an idiot, and they're gonna get like the tattoo on like the back of their leg. Like, I got the tattoo, and all I have to do is go into a full body mirror like Mark has. And I'll know if I'm okay. Like, someone's gonna be like,
that would be something
Jim,
you need to get on your hand or
stupid.
your arm.
Yeah, you want to get on your forearm or maybe like upper arm or something like
Now
that.
my question: what would you get? Like, what shape would you get of this tattoo?
I'd imagine that's another thing too, because
I'm sure if you were to do it,
Get a thermometer.
Yeah. No.
Tattoo a mood ring. There you go.
That'd be fun.
I think they had a couple different designs. There was one primary one that they had on the site.
Well, if it's if it's the same method as a regular tattoo, they could pretty much do whatever they wanted, couldn't they?
I think so. You could probably. I mean,
but
once
I would think that you wouldn't want to, because
it's more. I'd imagine this is definitely more about the chemicals than the actual shape of the tattoo.
Well,
Right.
it is, but I think the issue is that ink itself is tattoo ink is pretty expensive by itself.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking about a medical procedure now, you're just putting money into the equation. So, I mean, it'd be nice to have like a pretty cool, like small, elegant design. But if that tattoo ends up costing you $2,000 to get, it's like, no, give me a stripe that just goes down my forearm, so I know, so I can see it. The thick stripe down my forearm. That's it.
Well, that's what I said, like a mood ring, because it would be a very small, just a small band around your finger. You could go, hey, check that out.
Yeah, or maybe like some kind of like little graph, so it looks like a little data chart or something.
Or if you we'll do it simple, just make like a little like
dot
health cross.
Yeah, a health cross.
Like a little like a red cross kind of thing.
Kind of like what they got here, except it's a little more intricate than that. They have like a circle and then like crosshairs, and then they got like these ovals around the crosshairs with crosses on the crosshairs, and then they have these other lines, and honestly it looks like something out of like Call of Duty.
It looks like a rune.
Yeah,
like
it almost looks like
using like dark magic to cast a spell or something.
Mm-hmm. It actually reminds me of this other type of tattoo that it's a newer thing going on, not health related, but have you ever heard of sound wave tattoos?
Yes.
It's like people getting the sound wave tattooed on it, and then you could scan it and it'll produce that sound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool concept too, except that again.
So
I'm not sure
like
how
I
that
could
would
get a
work.
tattoo on my arm, and I scan it, and it'll go jerk.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically you would scan on your phone, and your phone would play that sound
Mm-hmm.
based off the wavelength.
Guess that sound.
Cute pornographic moaning.
Mark.
I'm sorry. Hey, you know what? It's episode 69, okay?
Today is just not going to be a polite day today.
Apparently not.
Nope, it is not.
There's actually an even cooler tattoo thing I saw recently. The ink is actually capable of transporting electricity, minor amounts of it.
Oh, you know what? I heard about that too.
So-
Creating a circuit through a tattoo.
Yeah. So it's not like a big, it's not like a wall outlet kind of.
So then what would that?
I don't know what it would be used for.
I was going to say, what's the if
mean,
you
you
lose
can try-
power, you stick your finger in the socket and you give
honestly,
yourself
though,
power again?
That'd be actually pretty cool if you were trying to do for security purposes.
Oh, that'd be cool. Like a
you
new
end
type
up,
of security
you end up getting
You'd be like Static Shock from...
yeah, kind of like that. Like you get a certain design or something on your hand or on some part of your fingertips, and you got to put it a certain way on a scanner. It's like, oh, recognized electrical input. That'd be. I mean, I think that's what I think it could be used for.
And then it also doubles as
I don't know what it has been.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And then it also doubles as a charge pad for your phone. So every time you're holding your phone, it's just sending your heart rate is just charging your phone.
That'd be interesting. I mean,
That'd be kind of cool.
That would be kind of.
That'd be tough.
Would it put out enough
That's the question.
energy,
I don't know.
or would the phone be pushing back?
Right. Here's one. It's a little more disturbing, but there's one thing I heard about. They were called body implants, and it's more of like a punk kind of thing. You know, people are installing little bio lights under their skin. It's really rather kind of gross, but it's another thing that I heard about at one point. Yeah, see, look right there. Tattoo that conducts electricity, basic cyborg stuff like that. People would have like a light under their skin here, so it's like some nasty
So I could walk into a room at night and go, light up, and it would turn on, and I could see my way.
Yeah, you could, essentially.
Oh, so the ones I was talking about are called tech tats. Temporary in use the ink that conducts electricity. They are fitted with small sensors and trackers that turn them into small smart devices. So far, the tech can measure temperature, which can be used to monitor fevers, for example. In the future, their potential use is virtually limitless. In fact, the tattoos can even be used to store data, such as your credit card and bank details.
So you could walk up and just touch the pin pad, and it would...
I would not get a tattoo for that. I'd
No.
be like, no.
Well, they were... I heard someone was talking about these chips that someone was designing, and what it was is everybody was going to be implanted with these chips, and it would have your information, so that way you could walk up and go like this.
That rumor has been around since 2000.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
and the funny part about it is the people that I were talking to were very religious.
Oh,
and so they were talking about how it was going to be the mark of the devil, and they were going to... I'm like,
Oh, God.
okay,
So
besides that, it's
remember-
cool tech,
It was always funny because it kept coming up. Time and time again, I'd get that on Facebook. And it's like, watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, President Bush is going to
chip everybody. I remember hearing that's where it started for me.
President Obama is
That's
going
where
to
it
chip
started.
everybody, and we're not going to be able. It's like, no, they're not. That's illegal. It's a breach of privacy. But it's like that. You understand how difficult that would be. What are you going to do? Oh, you go to jail if you don't get chipped. Okay, I'll go to jail.
Right.
It reminds me of...
And then I'll get chipped anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
So,
Kind of reminds me of...
what's my punishment, sir? You're getting a chip. Oh, I don't have to go to jail? No, just get a chip. Oh.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of Futurama. In the first episode, as soon as he gets unfrozen, they're like, all right, let's get you your career chip.
Yeah. Ah!
And they go through all this trouble, and he ends up being a delivery boy anyways again. Which was funny.
Poor guy.
Right.
Anyway.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Do you want
Lucas,
do
you
you
had,
want, do you
you-
want to do the funny story?
I was about to say, you should do
Do
the
you
funny
wanna do-
story,
do you
because
wanna do the
this
funny
was
story?
pretty funny.
Oh, right, we're going to do the funny story. Right.
So, for those of you who have heard of the Onion News Network, it's a parody news outlet. It just makes funny stories, and one of their most recent ones is absolutely hilarious. It's kind of a spoof on the whole Harambe incident from a year or so ago, in which Big Show is standing in the ring in a looks like a steel cage or a Hell in the Cell match, and he's sitting there with a 7-year-old boy in the cage with him at SummerSlam, and they quoted a spokesperson going, "Last night, after determining he posed a clear threat to a young boy who had entered the steel cage, we chose to end the life of one of our wrestlers." It talks about how a team of expert marksmen shot at the Big Show and took him down to save the life of this young 7-year-old kid. It's awesome. While lethal force is always a last resort, the reality is that we were dealing with a very large adult. one of our strongest males. A tranquilizer would have taken 5, even 10 minutes to bring down a wrestler that size, and it likely would have made him even angrier in the meantime. We simply couldn't risk waiting any longer.
I feel like they took the original Harambe story, changed every word where it said gorilla, ape, or any form,
just put Big Show.
and put Big Show, wrestler, or he,
Yeah.
or like man.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Which, I mean, to be perfectly honest, if this actually ended up happening and Big Show is that irate, I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. The man is gigantic.
He's huge.
I mean, he's dropped a bunch of... He's actually below 400 pounds now.
But
he's still enormous.
Well, and it's funny because we all know that, like, they all share a locker room, and they're all in there, you know, just chit-chatting it up, and then they get out on the floor, and they're like, oh, I hate you. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys ever watched Kim Possible or not.
Yeah.
Yeah? There was the one episode when they had the two wrestlers, and they're supposed to be like sworn enemies. They're sitting in their locker room chit-chatting, like, oh, how's your wife? Oh, she's good, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
They get on there, oh, I'm gonna kill you.
They asked the mother what happened, and she's like, I turned my back for a second.
Yep.
The next thing I knew, my son was down there with that huge wrestler. I screamed and ran towards the ring as fast as I could, just shouting for help. The wrestler was stomping around and pumping his fists, and I was completely terrified of what he might do next.
I'm pretty sure they took the exact Harambe story and just
When
changed
it looked like he was getting ready to pick up my boy and slam him on the canvas, I completely lost it. It was at that moment, sources said, that the wrestler was brought down with multiple rifle shots to the head and heart.
Multiple shots to the head and heart.
Like this is a complete Harambe spoof. Is that some witnesses blame Big Show's death on the boy's mother, calling her negligent for not keeping a better eye on her child while in such close proximity to a dangerous wrestler. Others reportedly criticized the facility for not having more physical barriers and stronger safety measures to prevent children from coming into contact with wrestlers as powerful and unpredictable as Big Show in the first place. So it is awesome. It's hilarious. This last part here. An innocent wrestler has paid the ultimate price for a mistake made by someone else, said Sam Carter, a 25-year-old protester who objected to what he called WWE's inhumane activities. When you look at everything these wrestlers are subjected to, it clearly amounts to cruelty. We must put an end to this immoral practice before another Big Show dies.
like I said, I'm pretty sure they just took the Harambe story and rewrote it. What?
In the very last sentence, Carter also added, it's pretty sickening when you consider the fact that they have such short lifespans to begin with.
Oh, man.
Wow, that's great.
Drugs.
I just love how, this one incident, which, honestly, I mean, it is what it is. It happened.
I mean, there's no reason to talk about it.
No.
That incident, at least.
But it was funny because there were so many shirts that said "Save Harambe" or "For Harambe." Like, I love some of the memes that they had. Some of the memes that came out of that were hilarious.
Blank out for Harambe.
Oh yeah, definitely. There was one. There was just like these two girls walking, and like the way their shadow formed, it looked like a gorilla, and it said "Remember Harambe." There was another one that was actually based on Pokemon, right? And it was this guy's theory on how Nintendo was going to end the Pokemon series with Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
And he went on this whole, this was like a multiple page rant through a Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
And literally, it probably took me 15 minutes to read through this entire theory. And in the last 2 sentences, it comes down to Harambe.
Oh gosh.
And then I'm just reading this, and I'm like, are you effing kidding me?
Someone jokingly made before Sun and Moon came out, actually. Someone made a fake Pokemon and called it Harambe. It was ghost and fighting type.
Oh. Man, I can only imagine what the Pokedex entry would be for that.
This poor animal was once alive. This poor spirit was once a lively, vibrant animal, but was tragically had its life cut short in order to save a small child. If you see this Pokemon in the wild, do not approach it, for it will nab your children and take them.
It only evolves from its first form if it faints a baby Pokemon.
Exactly. Oh gosh.
There's some weird evolution tactics in Pokemon these days too.
Well, I was gonna go that I was just because that whole thing I just made up about the Pokedex entry. Have you read some of the?
There's some dark ones.
Like it's like some of these are scary, like legit, like terrifying to listen to. Hey,
there's a Pokemon called Gorgeist, right? It evolves from Pumpkaboo. It's basically like it's based off a pumpkin.
It's a pumpkin.
And this Pokemon will snatch people who like wander off like around night, and it'll strangle them with its leaves, hair, whatever, while it sings to them until they're dead. There's another Pokemon where it's a giant glowing mushroom, and anybody wandering through the forest, it will distract them with its luminescence and basically kind of like hypnotize them, and they're never before seen from again. What else? There's also Drifblim, which is
Here, I got 15.
Here we go.
I got 15 of them.
Here we go. Let's hear some of these.
Kadabra. What the heck? Hang on a sec. All Abras are horribly deformed human children. When it evolves into Kadabra, it has gone to sleep and awoken a monster.
Oh, that's great.
Drowsy.
Oh, this is a good one.
It remembers every dream it eats. It rarely eats the dreams of adults because children's are much tastier.
Oh, that's good. That's yeah.
Lampant.
Yep.
Which is basically a lamp.
It's a lantern Pokemon.
Ghost. The spirits it absorbs fuel its baleful fire. It hangs around hospitals waiting for people to pass on.
Okay, last one.
And okay, let me go to the very top. Let me go to the very first one because number one. Let's see what number one is. Hang on a sec.
Oh god.
Okay, not that one. Let's go with Yveltal.
Which is a legendary from X and Y.
When its life comes to an end, it absorbs the life energy of every living thing, and turns into a cocoon once more.
Basically, when it dies, everything dies.
Everything around it just gets absorbed, and then it goes into sleep.
Kind of reminds me of a monster from Doctor Who.
Probably. I would not be surprised. But yeah, so there's some pretty morbid Pokedex entries, and it's actually really, really kind of funny. I mean, the thing is, it's like, Pokemon's made for kids, essentially, but, there's a lot of crowd that follows Pokemon that's been following since they were little kids, and now, it's people, like, in their 20s and 30s.
Right.
So, they put all these little hidden tidbits into the Pokemon world, that get through to us adults, and we see it, and we're just like, oh, that's dark. That's disturbing.
It's scurry.
It's scurry.
Mm-hmm. Which, speaking of Pokemon, I guess they just started releasing, information about the new Pokemon games coming out later this year. It's going to be Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Which basically, it sounds like they're going to be bringing back Pokemon Fusion, unfortunately, which I think is kind of one of the few concepts of Pokemon that I didn't really care for. But it is what it is. I digress.
You know what I really care for?
What do you really care for?
Movie Madness Monday!
Movie Madness Monday!
I almost hit the wrong button again.
Oh gosh.
Oh my god.
I need to change the color to the buttons.
So Aaron, you're going to want to get a memorial buzzer going again with the music because we have a horribly sad celebrity death.
Do you have Amazing Grace played on by bagpipes? You should.
Lucas,
should
be great.
Lucas, I want you to take over this story because I feel like you go through this stuff better than I do when it comes to celebrity deaths.
Okay.
Is it bad that when I started typing in Amazing Grace, it just popped up Grace Bagpipes?
Yeah. No. It's the best.
That's great.
Let me know when it gets ready to play, because it's just we're gonna.
Is it sad?
It's sad.
It's sad.
It's sad. What is commercial first?
Oh gosh, why is there always? I hate how YouTube has commercials now.
Oh, you know what? I hate how not Pokemon, I keep thinking Pokemon now. Facebook videos are doing commercial ads now.
Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
It's horrible.
This. All right, thank you very much. So, for those of you who do know, Adam West, the television Batman and pretty kind of eccentric actor, died last week at the age of 88. He became famous for his poker-face portrayal of Batman in the very campy 1960s TV series. He passed away from leukemia this past week. I never considered him to... This article says he had a deep rumbling voice. I never considered Adam West ever deep.
It was
Not really.
It was kind of a little
was-
lower key. I would not say it was deep though.
Especially like his later years on Family Guy being Mayor Adam West.
Or
But
in Fairly Odd Parents as Adam West.
this song just hits you right in the feels. But the funny part is everyone like loved him for this guy for Batman, and he really didn't do much. He did Batman, and that
And
was
then he
kinda-
played himself.
And then he just did Adam West.
Because he could.
I think his best character was himself.
Probably was.
I would agree.
Hashtag very inspirational.
So apparently, it also says the series he acted in, the Batman series in the 60s, was supposed to be like a parody of superhero people. It was like, it wasn't supposed to be serious. Like, everyone remembers it being wacky. Like, oh, that was because it was like trying to be like the comics. And they were like, no, that's just meant to be dorky. Like, holy, flying batarangs, Batman. Like that. that was a
Holy
little
Christmas,
quick.
Batman!
Exactly. But after Batman left the air, West turned down the roles for James Bond in Diamonds Are Forever.
I feel like he wouldn't have been a good James Bond.
He would not, saying he thought the role should go to a British actor.
There you go.
As he attempts to elude his Bat typecasting diminished, West continued to appear as Batman in public appearances and wrote a 1994 autobiography titled Back to the Batcave. He also provided the voice of Batman in numerous cartoons. And in 1991, West starred in the TV pilot Lookwell, a highly regarded script by Conan O'Brien and Robert Smigel that was never picked up by a network, but which enabled West to star as a fantasy version of himself, a former TV action star who tried to solve crimes in real life. Indeed, West became an expert in playing a variation of himself. And the song has run out, so I will stop talking now.
It really goes to show one of the
Bagpipes
reasons
make a difference.
I feel like
They
crying
do.
right now. And Adam West was an inspiration in so many ways, and one of the most beautiful ways that he showed us is that, to really be a rising star, you don't have to pretend to be someone else.
You don't
You
have to
can
be
just-
good either.
You can
No.
just
You
be
can-
You
yourself.
can be yourself,
Be
and that'll
weird.
be more than enough to make everybody, love you.
Mark
Yeah,
is crying.
You got a little too deep on that one. It's not that deep, man. He's really.
I'm sorry.
He's really just a kook. He was just a kooky guy that.
He was a
He was
great
great.
kooky guy.
He's a
Adam West
kooky
was
guy that
absolutely
just
amazing.
got a break and.
hmm I loved seeing him in so many different works. Like, being in Fairly Odd Parents as Catman.
Yeah.
He was, what else? Yeah, he was Adam West. He was himself, Mayor Adam West in Family Guy. I always loved seeing him in Family Guy. He was
awesome. He
definitely
always-
very kooky.
Always had his little bits.
Yes.
I've
he
seen
did.
him. I've seen him in all kinds of other stuff. He was a total like geek nerd in real life. He would go to conventions and stuff like that. I saw him interview at places like E3 before.
Yeah.
I've seen him cameo in shows before. There was an episode where he cameoed in Big Bang Theory, where he was in the car with
I'm
the
not
guys.
surprised.
And
Maybe-
they were talking about who's the best Batman in which categories, and it was priceless, honestly. And really, it's sad to see him go, because Adam West really was an inspirational man. He was a great actor, great man, and he really showed that you can be amazing as yourself.
Amazing is a very strong word.
It's a very strong word.
It's a very strong. It's not a very accurate word either, but it's a very strong word.
I think we liked him a little less than you did.
Yeah, I think he's.
I mean,
You mean-
don't get
you
me
mean
wrong.
like
I
a
think
little
Adam
more?
West was more on my level of
He
things
liked-
than more on your guys'
we liked him less than he does.
Yeah, I don't know where your rose-colored glasses came from, but
Yeah.
they are strong.
Or yes, they are.
But speaking of someone who apparently has talent that I didn't know had any talent whatsoever.
Really?
Well, I'm kidding.
Okay.
He
I was
obviously had some. He
I
carried something.
was gonna say, how did you not know he had talent?
Yeah.
So you guys will never guess who got back together to sing one of your favorite Disney movies.
Rihanna and Chris Brown.
Not at all.
Oh crap.
No.
That would be impressive.
So, no, it was not. It was Ashley Tisdale, who played Sharpay Evans, and Lucas Grabeel, who played Ryan Evans in High School Musical.
Oh, la-ti-da.
La-ti-da.
What song do they come back to?
So they came back together. Apparently, Ashley Tisdale has this show, this new like podcast thing, and it actually, and so a lot of the fans wanted her to bring on Lucas, and so she did. And it turns out that he's actually a very, very, very good singer. He can sing pretty much any pitch.
You see, I was never into High School Musical, so I hardly know anything about these people.
I liked it.
It was good. It was a good
I thought
one.
it was good.
I thought they should have stopped with one.
Right. No.
There shouldn't have been 3, and 3 should definitely not have been theatrically released.
No.
That was like I'm like sitting there going, so you took a show that was put on Disney for free and you made people pay for it? No.
No. Not at all.
No.
No. Anyway,
Not
so
there.
what happened was it actually turns out, because they did a little interview before, that they did not get along originally.
Really? It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, you come by it honestly enough.
I mean,
in the
it kind of
industry.
surprised me, but there was a part of it that kind of surprised me and kind of didn't. So they were, I'm trying to remember her name. I keep wanting to call her Sharpay.
Ashley Tisdale.
Ashley Tisdale was talking to, when they were talking, she said he's very talented, and she was talking about how they really didn't get along, and she had described herself as, in real life, being like Sharpay Evans was.
Which I have a question for that. I have a
What's
question
up?
for that. So
What's
she
your
acts like
question?
Sharpay Evans, but here's my issue. Is what Disney does with these younger actors. Because mind you, like, her first big role was The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Yes, it was.
And then, they're like, oh, hey, we'll put you in a High School Musical.
She did some music at that point, too.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, most Disney people, they can sing and they can act. And,
All Disney people can sing and
yeah.
act.
No, not...
I wouldn't say all.
They sing. I didn't say they... That doesn't mean they can sing or should sing.
Truer words have never been spoken.
But Ashley Tisdale, her first big break was that show, and she was in her 20s.
Was she really?
Oh yeah, she was in her 20s.
I didn't think she was in her 20s.
Oh yeah, she was in her 20s. So was what's her name? The Asian girl.
What is her name?
I'm pretty sure she was.
Was she?
But no, it's like you're in your 20s and you're a Disney actor. It's kind of like being a Hallmark actor.
Right.
Like if you've ever been forced to sit down and watch a Hallmark movie,
I have a lot.
It's the exact same people. They just play different characters.
Well, and it's the exact same movie.
Yeah, it's always the same movie. But I mean, it's always the same people playing the same type of actors, or the same actors playing the same type of people in the same kind of like area.
And the same thing happens. They don't think they're gonna fall in love, then they fall in love, then something happens and they break up, and then at the end they end up coming back together and falling in love.
Yeah, but I mean that's my yeah. She's 31 right now.
Is she?
Yeah.
Nice.
So back in 2005, which I don't even know when the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody started. Here, let me see here.
Digging the sound effects.
Yeah, I got a sound effect for that. Hang on.
It started back in 2005.
Oh.
It started back in 2005. So she was 21 when the show premiered.
Right.
And it had how many seasons did it have here? It had 3 seasons.
It only had 3 seasons.
Only 3 seasons.
I feel like it had a lot more than 3 seasons.
I thought it did too, but that was a lot of reruns.
I think that's why Disney puts out so many shows. I think they only put out about 3 seasons of each show, but they play them so much that it...
Sounds about right. Like, wasn't Drake and Josh only like 3 or 4 seasons?
Oh, that's not Disney.
No, that's Nickelodeon.
That was
but
Nickelodeon.
a lot of those shows, like
Brenda
around,
Song is the Asian.
Brenda
girl.
Song, thank you.
And she's only 29.
Right.
So she's 29. So both of them were, she was younger by a little bit, but they were both in their 20s by the time that show ended.
Right.
Right.
So it's like, okay, well, why are you so...
Well, she had just became...
Like,
she had just gotten famous, and so she's kind of was like, well, I'm better than everyone else.
Well, it's like, well, here's the thing. Here's why I laugh at that idea, though. So she had just gotten famous, right?
Right.
And then she gets approached to do a Disney movie role, right? And let's see, what High School Musical came out in 2006. So literally a year after she got her first big acting break, she gets a part in a movie. And she's not even the lead. She's behind a guy who never was in a Disney film and a girl, Vanessa Hudgens, who I've not heard from since these movies.
She was in that movie Spring Breakers.
What?
The one that had like 3 Disney Channel stars that was about 3 girls robbing a bank.
Never
and
even heard of it.
No.
It was actually supposed to be a pretty good movie.
But like, so it's like I would have like gone up to her if I had noticed it, like she had an attitude like, well, stop that. You're nobody. You're a Disney actor. Calm yourself down.
Well, and at that point she didn't have that perspective. Anyway,
Well, no, I'm saying if I was someone looking at it.
Right. No, so she thought she was kind of tough crap. And she looked at him and she's like, "Who's this dude?
Who's this guy?
Who's this guy?"
Who's this guy?
But he'd played in several different things.
Yeah, he was one of the versatile actors.
Anyway, so they were
face.
talking, and apparently by the end of the filming of the movie, they'd actually become pretty good friends. And I would assume it was because they were in such close quarters, because they were pretty much they're supposed to be like twins, is what it was. It was So anyway, they.
Good to see he did not get ugly. That's good to see. Most of these Disney guys end up getting ugly at some point in time.
What about Zac Efron?
It's a most.
He grew.
He did say
most. It's a most.
He grew a 6-pack and a pair of abs.
Because
the 6-pack and a pair of pecs.
Why? It's because everyone else in this movie didn't really, like, if you want to compare Zac Efron to every other guy in this movie, Zac Efron was the reason that you had to put a towel under your tween-age girl's seat, when the High School Musical movies came on.
Oh, jeez. Just...
Moving on. Anyway,
sorry.
So they kind of got past that, and I actually found out that they toured. They did a concert for High School Musical. They performed the music for High School Musical. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Wait, there was an actual like High School Musical?
Kind of. I mean, I guess it would be more of a concert than it would be a musical, because the musical would actually have the storyline. This was just literally the music from the show. Anyway, so they were talking, and Lucas described it in a really good way, and he recalls a quote from Mr. Rogers that says, "You can learn to love everybody if you hear their story." And he continued on to say that he thinks that that's what it took, and what they needed was to just live some life, go through some experiences together, and learn where they both came from. And I actually thought that was kind of a cool way of putting that. I really like the Mr. Rogers quote. I think that was a really good choice on his part.
You can learn to love everybody if you hear their story. The only issue, hers was a flip book made with crayon. So, not exactly telltale.
And so, now I give to you the song that they sang together very well, man. What I've been looking for.
It's hard to believe that I couldn't see you were always there beside me.
Thought I was alone, with no one to hold, but you were always there beside me.
This feeling's like no other. I want you to know that I've never had someone that knows me like you do, the way you do.
And I've never had someone as good for me as you. No one like you.
So lonely before I finally found what I've been looking for.
So good to be seen, so good to be heard. Don't have to say a word.
For so long I was lost, so good to be found. I'm loving having you around.
This someone that knows me like you do, the way you do.
And I've never had someone as good for me as you. No one like you. So lonely before I finally found what I've been looking for. Do 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 oh 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 oh. Do 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 oh 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 oh.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
Okay. No, so I think they did a good job on that version of that particular song.
Oh yeah, it was nice.
It was really cool, and it did bring out, because I don't know if you guys know this, but well, you probably know, but Disney Channel movies really don't bring out the real singing of some of these people.
No,
like
they
Zac
don't.
Efron lip sing the entire first movie,
Yeah, I'm sure.
and then the second movie they let him sing and it was crappy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing about Disney. Here's the thing about Disney. They like it if you can sing and act.
But don't make it so you
But
can sing.
if you can't sing,
They replace your
it's
voice.
okay. I mean, Selena Gomez can sing. Like, look at Selena Gomez. She's a successful singer now.
Right.
She's not acting. Good. But, she did a little singing when she was still with Disney. But she did mostly acting, and now she's singing for a living.
Right.
And she's Justin Bieber's ex, which makes it even better. But, no, you're right. I mean, like, look at the one Jonas brother.
Which
Like,
one?
The youngest one.
What was his name?
Nick? Is it
Nick?
Nick? The one that everyone's, like, fantasizing about now?
Oh, well, they were fantasizing about then,
Well,
and his
yeah,
brothers got married and moved on, and he
Yeah.
kept singing
and he kept singing.
because he carried the group.
Which I didn't know. I thought his oldest brother did. Like, I didn't listen to them ever. My sister did.
I didn't listen to him either.
So
I just knew that he carried the group.
I assumed looking at the one that was the lead guitarist, I'm like, oh, that's probably the best one. And no, it's the drummer.
It's the
And
drummer.
no one ever expects the drummer. But yeah, it's like you're right. Some of them don't get the limelight that they really should. And other ones get too much of it. It's painful.
It can be, yeah.
Just a little bit.
I mean, I was
It's very
personally
painful.
I was personally never into like High School Musical or anything like that because I was, just not really my thing.
I watched it. I thought it was good. Like, I agree with Lucas. Like, the second one was trash. Third one just needed to not happen.
No,
Well,
but I
second
just
one
was.
shouldn't have happened. The third one shouldn't happen. It should have just been like, hey, this is High School Musical. They got together. That's all you need to know. It's it. Nothing else happened their entire high school career.
I don't know. No, I thought
Nothing else happened.
I do remember watching the third one, and it wasn't horrible. It was better than the second one. It was kind of like The Hangover.
Well, you know why
the first one was great. The second one was horrible. The third one wasn't that bad.
You know why it was good?
Why?
Because it was over after that.
Because it was so.
Because it was over
And the
after
but
that.
the worst part, I think, if I remember that one correctly, is that the way they set it up at the end made it look like they were gonna try to like make another trilogy with some new crazy wacky cast members that were in the like junior or sophomore group, and it's just like, hold on, man. You telling me that this school went from hot to not within 1 year? Like, seriously, like, everybody, like, this whole entire senior class is freaking stacked. They got singers, they got actors, they got athletes, and then this next group is just, hi. It's like, wow, how did you drop off so harsh? Like, you couldn't get good extras?
It's like
You
that.
couldn't get good secondary characters?
No.
That
No, they couldn't.
That
Because
de-escalated
nobody wanted to be near High School Musical except for the original cast.
It de-escalated quickly.
Very much so. It's like, if you're going to go for a full theatrical release, that means you got some kind of money.
Right.
You're hoping for some kind of money to justify the amount of money you're spending. Get some good backups. Like I think I remember like the guy that was supposed to take over for Zac Efron's character on the basketball team after he left. And it's just scrawny, Jew-froed, weakling little kind of guy, just like remember the hairstyle that was really popular like when we were like middle school? It was like long and like shoulder length, like messy, kind of like crappy look to it. You know what I'm talking about? No. Really? Okay.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, it was like it for my school. But it's like
I do remember the guys having long hair.
Yeah. So,
but it was funny because half of the guys that had long hair,
yeah,
all the girls were jealous of because their hair looked better than the girls'.
Oh yeah.
The girls were like, "What'd you do?" Nothing.
We cut it shorter than you.
No, there's a dude that I see at my work. He likes to shoot bows.
Yeah.
And he walks in. His hair is down to literally his butt. And usually when he walks in, it's in it's braided for work. He came in one day and I looked in there and there was this big it looked a lot better than almost any girl's hair I've ever seen in my entire life. And I said, you probably have a lot of girls that are jealous of you right now. Because there was one girl that actually walked through that said that worked there. And he's like, because I'm like, what do you do to it? He's like, nothing.
None.
I don't do anything. I said, I feel like girls focus so much on, so many things like, hair products and it's poofy, it's this, it's that. If you just let it grow and wash it normally.
Screw with it.
Right.
Like people are like, oh well, if you don't use this kind of product, it's gonna hurt your hair. It's like just eat protein. Eat protein. Your hair will grow nice. It'll grow lovely.
Right.
And don't shampoo it every day.
Right.
Don't shampoo it every day. Just shampoo it like 2 or 3 days. Every 2 or 3 days. Be fine.
Yeah, don't take a shower daily. Take it every other day.
Yeah, unless you're an athlete. Then it's okay.
Right.
And you get sweaty. But, no, the whole premise of the very end of, like, this series was just crappy. It was like, okay, well, we did the junior year one. Well, they had the first one, which I don't think they were defined if they were what year in high school they were. They were just in high school.
Right.
And then they're like, okay, well
No, they said that they were seniors. Because they were making a big deal about how they were going to miss their
Well, no, they had to be at least juniors.
Really?
Because the third one's the senior year.
Yeah, but I thought they were seniors because they were making a big deal about how it was the last basketball game.
No, it was like the most important basketball game, I thought. But either way, it's just like
I swore it was because they were seniors, and then
it's just like, gosh,
they became super seniors by the third movie.
Because the second movie, if you're singing that much that you can have time to sing in between classes, you are probably failing. You are probably failing most classes. I'm going to say that right out. But it's just I'm glad. I'm glad the series is over. I'm glad we're not getting another one, and hope to God that if they ever do a reboot, they do it better.
I hope they don't reboot. I'm sorry.
I mean, there's some things.
I hate reboots.
One my High School Musical phase for everybody was more
There's
than
always
enough
going
for
to
me.
be another musical for Disney. Another.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
Well, I mean, Disney does a lot of musicals. You got Frozen's technically a musical.
I meant like.
Okay, that's
I meant like lower budget Disney musical.
Oh, you're talking like Disney movie, Disney musical?
Like Disney.
Well, they had
Disney Channel.
They had Teen Beach Movie was the next one.
Was that the most recent one?
I think so.
After High School.
No, Teen Beach Movie 2. Might have been.
Oh gosh.
Wow, they're not very creative with the titles, are they?
No, they're not. They're very
Teen Beach Movie 1, Teen Beach Movie 2.
But you know what? It's better than the Fast and the goddamn freaking Furious.
Yeah, that's true. You know, backtracking, because I remember we were talking about how some of the actors and actresses didn't get along or whatever. You know what else I found kind of funny?
Your face?
Yeah, my face is hilarious. Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson apparently hate each other in real life.
Yes.
Like, they cannot stand each other.
No, that's not true anymore. They cleared that up.
Oh, they cleared that up?
Yeah, they don't. They had like an argument on set, I think.
And then they just...
I think it was just something to promote the movie.
And then the kiss and made up?
Yeah, well, they interview The Rock, and he's like, no, or they interview Vin Diesel, he's like, no, that was blown out of proportion. It was just it was a heat of the moment thing that me and him got into it, and
I didn't hit him with the wrench, guys. I didn't hit him with the wrench.
When he comes over to my house, the kids love him. It sounds like they're good friends. It just
okay. Well, backtracking a little bit.
Yeah.
There was a listener of ours who was listening to when we were talking about the Jonas Brothers. Apparently, there's a younger brother that nobody knows about named Frankie.
Frankie who?
I don't know. Jonas.
That's oh yeah, I remember. It was like the fourth brother. Like they had 3 in a row, and they're like, "Hey, you can sing," and then Frankie's and they're going like, "Hi."
Well, it's kind of like the Duck Dynasty crew. There's another son that's not on the show. He didn't want to be on the TV show.
I don't blame him.
I would want to be on the Duck Dynasty.
No, because
Phil Roberts.
Okay, you're opening up a box of worms. I have such an issue with
Well, good, because I want to go fishing.
Don't you mean a box of ducks?
Ha! That was bad.
It was very bad.
Maybe box of duck whistles then. I'll just stop.
You're hurting yourself.
I am hurting myself.
You're just digging yourself in a hole.
I already hate myself.
No,
it's okay.
I have such an issue with that show for how fake it is.
Ha!
Like it is. Like I understand it's reality TV and it's
Right.
supposed to be but the issue is that they try to make themselves out like, well, no, we might do a little extra for the show, but we're really like this. And then if you can find pictures of all 3 of the sons who are on there.
Yeah.
You can find a picture of all their families from like 3 or 4 years before the show started.
Well, that was before they got involved in their dad's company.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like, but the whole beards and everything, like that's for the cameras.
Well, not the dad and the uncle. The dad and the uncle.
No, they're crazy. I understand that.
Right.
But
and that's what I loved about the show. I really didn't care about the 2 sons. I loved the dad and the uncle. Those were my 2 favorite.
Well, it's everyone's favorite characters.
And then they kicked frickin' Phil Robertson off the frickin' show.
Well,
there was another show too that my.
I mean, after he said that, what did you expect was going to happen?
I don't know.
I mean, it wasn't going to last. I mean, with the channel that they were signed to, you knew that wasn't going to end well for one person or another.
Right.
But no, I couldn't when that show. I don't know. Is it still on? Is it still making new episodes?
No. They
stopped
ended
a while ago.
No, it was just recently ended.
There was a couple other shows too. Like it was like a phase, and I think it was all on the same network. Just a whole bunch of like redneck shows that were on. What was there was another one. It was Lizard Lick, and there was
apparently
some
Uncle
other
Si's
one.
leaving the show too.
That was true.
Which are my 2 favorite characters. So why would they?
Right.
I mean, if they left the show, why do I watch it anymore?
No. But it's just no. It's just, I had an issue with finding out. Okay, so these guys basically just came to their dad's thing, and then someone approached them randomly from A&E going,
See,
"Can we make a movie or a TV show about you guys?" Sure. What do you want us to do? Well, we want you to be just like the dumbest hicks possible, but still somehow make 40,000 duck calls a week.
See, what I loved about the show is there was actually like, you had the sons trying to get this honey. And I honestly believe that this is how it happened.
Yeah.
Because the sons were trying to get this beehive to get the honey, and they all had their own way, and they all tried it, and they all failed.
Yeah.
And then Phil's like, okay, this is done. And he literally takes a gator out with Willie's son.
Yeah.
Takes a little smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And he has the son smoke it out. He takes and cuts the branch, puts it into a plastic bag, and drives away. And it's because he's been doing, that's something that he's been doing for years.
Yeah.
And it does kind of show the dynamic in today's society where the kids are like, I got this, you don't know what you're talking about, I got this, and then they don't, and the parent comes up just kind of leisurely, it's kind of like the tortoise and the hare. The parents are the tortoise, and the hare keeps running and running and running and rubbing it in, and then the hare or the tortoise just kind of wins anyway.
Yeah. No,
because he outsmarted it. It's kind of the same concept. But I love that, and I also love some of the things that like they did this thing where they were in Hawaii and they called him Magnum PSI. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, that hurts. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have an aneurysm if I keep hearing more about this show again.
The redneck show phase was another one that I was not a part of.
No, I mean,
I'm a redneck.
I know you are. But like the whole like musicals phase and with the little like boy band things like the Jonas Brothers, or you got like the redneck show phase.
See, the Backstreet Boys will always be my guy.
That's different. Backstreet Boys.
That's a boy band.
Yeah. No, I'm talking like
Disney
like Jonas Brothers and groups like that.
Right.
That was a phase that could have never happened, and I would have been just fine with. Same story with the redneck TV show. Stuff. Like I got like Lizard Lick. You got Duck Dynasty. There was
Trailer
some
Park
other
Boys
one
I can't stand.
I love Trailer Park Boys.
I can't stand it.
Because it's such a funny spoof.
I can't stand it.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't care
tried.
for Trailer Park Boys. I don't care for Workaholics. Like,
I
neither of
can't
those
watch that
shows
one
do
either.
much for me.
I haven't watched Workaholics before. So
Yeah.
I
Mark
can't-
likes watching porn. It does a lot more for him.
Yeah, apparently so.
Hey, you just said it didn't.
Episode 69, y'all.
Well, it's too late now. We've already crossed that line.
Cat's out of the bag.
All right, let's shall we move on to our?
We went down that wormhole.
We went down that wormhole. We didn't come out the right area, but we found it.
Jeez.
So let's move on to our fresh and retro Netflix pick of the week.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
That's why I'm doing it.
Good.
Okay.
Continue.
He had a perfect transition, and you were like, "Yeah, let's do that."
That's what I do.
Ruin the trend.
Well, you
So
need
we
to
got.
stop.
So basically, we got.
So we got 2 movies, and we actually picked these very late. I'm gonna let you know, last night.
Yeah.
Because I'd realized that we still hadn't picked movies.
I was in.
Well, no, actually, I remembered we picked movies because we sat down one night and we picked like 5 pairs of movies.
Yeah.
And I did look to see if there was anything else that I wanted to watch because I really didn't want to watch these 2. But once I started watching them, I'm like, okay, now I'm in that group. I went. So our retro pick of the week was Mean Girls, and you guessed it, our fresh pick of the week was Mean Girls 2.
So another kind of like sequel thing we did like we did last week.
Right.
Except much better this week, and I don't want to kill
last
the
week was a
director.
reboot. It was a remake.
Yeah,
This is more of a
sequel.
sequel.
It's kind of like a true like something kind of sequel.
right.
But anyway, so let's start with Mean Girls.
So Mean Girls. How about I start first?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Fine.
So I've always loved Mean Girls.
Go ahead.
I will make you go last then.
I am
That's
going.
fine, I don't
I'm
mind going.
I'm going to zip tie your nuts together.
Well, they're already kind of in a bag together, so.
Don't threaten me with a good. No, I'm just kidding.
Any.
I'm kidding.
No, you're done.
He's done.
He's done.
He's quiet now.
So. No, anyway. So I love the movie.
Now? Yeah, I'm back on. Now.
One of the things that I love about this movie is the principal. The principal in
yeah.
Mean Girls.
Yeah.
He was him, and then the teacher, and I'm trying to
Tina
remember
Fey.
Tina Fey.
Yeah.
So this movie is literally casted a whole bunch of comedians.
Yeah.
And they all play somewhat serious role. Like there are very serious moments in this movie, which I really like. But there are they've got little quips here and there.
Yeah.
And that's what I like out of a comedy. Like somebody who's funny, but they're not always funny. They can be serious.
Yeah.
They can be sad, sappy, whatever. And then they get those little quips that are just hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Like
that's what all 3 of those were actors. Because Amy Poehler's in this too.
Yep, Amy Poehler's in this.
So-
She played the mom.
All 3 of them, are pretty good at doing that. That's their specialty.
Right.
They're all 3 also SNL actors.
Yeah, they are.
Mhm.
No, anyway, so there was that, and then the gym teacher sex ed speech.
Oh gosh.
I love it. Don't have sex. You will get
Right.
chlamydia.
You will get chlamydia
And die.
and die.
It was like, and then it ended up he ended up having like, I don't want to say sexual relations with 2 students, but he was with 2 students that were sisters actually.
Oh gosh.
Oh God.
Then, for we stray further and further from God's light.
But no, I've always liked this movie. I thought it was a great pick.
Yeah, I agree.
Not just because Lucas and I picked it, but because just some of the things like Fetch. Fetch is a thing because of that movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like and it's funny because in the movie they're like, Fetch will never happen. But it's done happened.
Oh, it done did.
It done did
It's
happen.
been done, did.
But no, there was such a good mix of like serious and funny that it made it work.
And I think that
And the actresses, I mean.
that's what I was gonna say. Is I think they got the actresses right as far as the 2 main young actresses that they needed.
Lindsay
Lindsay
Lohan, I
Lohan.
mean,
I mean, she's
happened to her?
Bad things, a lot of crap.
She used to look a lot
But
really good.
Like, but the girl Regina George, who played Regina George, she's been in a bunch of stuff. Like
Oh,
she was in the
they're all
most
chick
recent-
flicks.
No, she was in the most recent Doctor Strange.
Was she really?
She was in Doctor Strange.
was?
Yeah.
Ooh, she was also.
Who'd she play as again?
She was also.
I don't remember.
She was in the
Off the top of my
Sherlock
head.
Holmes.
Yeah.
She played the girl in Sherlock Holmes.
But she has been in quite a few things that aren't just chick flicks.
You know what? I agree. You know, I feel like I've seen her in a few other places without actually like registering it was her, but I remember seeing the face other places.
Well, I mean, she's older now, but
Right.
But the people that they got to act were legitimately good actors.
Yeah.
And so I was happy.
Rachel McAdams is
Yeah.
who plays.
But
And I feel like Lindsay Lohan's actually a little bit hotter than Rachel McAdams. Like all the other ones are actually kind of cute, and then she's just kind of
well, yeah, it's Lindsay
her.
Lohan. There's a reason they picked her.
right.
But even Lindsay Lohan, I mean, after the Parent Trap stuff, she became a famous child actor. But she wasn't like a bad child actor though. It wasn't like Haley Joel Osment, who was only good in one movie, and then everything he does now is kind of scary because he has a messed up looking face. He seriously, like I think it's the kid from like the I See Dead People, that kid.
Oh, what movie was that?
Oh, right.
And now,
Yeah, he was literally only in like. Oh no, he was in more than that.
He was in more than that, but he can't play anything now because
He's got a massive beard in his IMDb picture.
He's hard to look at. Like
Look at that.
He is not a very handsome man.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That is a manly beard right there.
his beard is bigger than his head.
And that's
As
saying,
it should be.
Something.
As
That's
it should
saying
be.
something. But
No, he played in quite a bit. He's still playing in stuff actually. He
is, yeah.
Sleepwalker, Silicon Valley, Oasis, Teachers. Trying to get back down to the stuff where Entourage. He played Entourage.
But
Sex Ed.
the cast.
He played in the Kingdom Hearts movies or
Wait,
video games.
Oh, video games. I was just say
Right.
there were movies.
No.
Yeah, I hope not.
I really, really hope not.
Oh, he played in Country Bears.
Like I know there's Final Fantasy movies.
You guys remember Country Bears?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played Barry Bear in Country Bears.
Oh well, good for him.
I didn't know that. Played in
Anyway-
Family Guy.
Anyway,
Buzz Lightyear of Star Command.
Wait, he was in that?
Yes.
Who was he?
Micah?
Micah.
M-Y-K-A.
don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah,
Does not ring a bell.
casting was good.
Rachel
Her.
McAdams was in Midnight in Paris, Sherlock Holmes. What else was she in? Doctor Strange, as you said. She played Christine Palmer in Doctor Strange. Mark?
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Sorry, I was checking something.
That would be a no.
Yeah.
I answered your question.
Okay. Who'd she play?
Christine Palmer. I just said that.
Oh, she was like the girlfriend then, if I recall.
I haven't seen the
I
movie.
can't remember what her name was in that movie.
I am almost certain. Yeah, she was like the nurse girlfriend in that movie then. I'm
She
pretty
also
sure.
played in Wedding Crashers,
Really?
The Notebook,
Notebook.
Yeah.
Mean Girls.
Hey.
She played in a lot more than that because there's a lot of movies. Oh, The Vow. There's one. Yeah, she plays in a lot of chick flicks. Aloha.
Mm-hmm.
So
But-
yeah, no, she was a good pick.
But like I said, all of these were decent picks.
Yeah.
Like they were decent child actors, not child really, but younger actresses that ended up that could do pretty decent movies, as well as the adults that were.
Well, and I mean, you listen to this cast. You get Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams, Tina Fey, Tim Meadow, who played Mr. Duvall.
Yep.
You get Amy Poehler,
Mhm.
Anna Gistler. Let me get down to.
Amy Poehler's a pretty good pick. I think
Yeah.
she's a good actress. I liked her in Parks and Rec.
You also had Neil Flynn in there.
These are his names now. I don't
Yeah.
know. But
Amanda Seyfried.
but
Yep,
yeah.
names.
So let's kind of get on with the
Anyway,
movie part. Though.
So why don't we move on to Lucas? What do you think of the movie?
Oh, for Mean Girls, I actually didn't get caught up in the hype when it first came out. I actually saw it many years later.
I had
So-
sisters, so I just
so
saw
I-
it a lot.
So I saw it many years later, so I didn't know if I was going to get the funniness of it or if I was going to enjoy it as much. But I thought it was hilarious. So, I mean, it's a good movie, and I mean, I think the majority of this review is going to be on how different it is from Mean Girls 2. Like, because there's not a ton of differences.
Well, they
but-
were so different I feel like they were different enough that it was good,
Yeah.
but they were enough of a. There was enough of a similarity to make it a sequel.
Mhm.
You know what I mean, rather than a
Yeah.
reboot.
But no, I mean, I think most people of our generation will agree. Mean Girls is like one of our generation's like
Big movies, one of the
one of our
ones.
top movies from our teenage
Yeah.
/ childhood.
Well, you talk to any girls that grew up with us, and they're like, "Oh, I know that movie."
I love Mean Girls.
It's like White
Right.
Chicks. Have you guys seen White Chicks, right?
Yeah.
Who hasn't seen White Chicks?
I guess you're right. You're right.
But yeah, no, it's always been a solid overall movie. So I'm just glad that it does well. I mean, I really don't have much to say about it because it's just a solid movie. It doesn't have any glaring issues, like major plot holes or anything. None of the characters are bad.
Right.
I mean, the plastics could have been like in the sequel, like the plastics are a little more flushed out as characters other than just Regina.
Right.
But they did their purpose. They were just yes men. But yeah,
I'm trying to remember. There's a continuity error that I found last night, or that April found last night, and it irritated me. And I'm trying to remember what it was.
It might have just been something small.
It was.
Okay.
I'll ask April. I'll message her and see if she remembers what it was.
But yeah, I mean, while you're doing that, I just kind of start to compare number 2 to number 1, really.
Well, you gotta cut off Mark.
Mark.
Right.
I'm sorry.
We're not used to having you here, so.
Yeah.
No, understandable. So, yeah, I hated it. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No. Actually, I thought Mean Girls was a good movie. Like Lucas, I didn't see it when it first came out. It was out for a good couple years before I actually saw it. I thought it was a really good movie when I first saw it. I thought it was funny. I like the bits like where this is Damien, he's too gay to function. I thought that was pretty funny. Mm-hmm. Along with 2 for Glen Coco, you go Glen Coco.
I don't remember that part.
Oh, it was when he was passing out the candy canes.
Yeah, the candy cane flavor.
And Lindsay Lohan's character had bought like 4.
Yeah.
And it was 2 for herself and 2 for Amanda Seyfried's character, the one whose boobs can tell when it's raining.
Yeah.
They bought 2. She bought 2 for each, and it under Regina's name to make the other girl go crazy. And I remember the continuity error, but it was in the second movie.
We'll talk
not
about that
this
in a
one.
minute then.
Yeah.
But at the time that I saw the first movie, I was in a friend group where I had 2 friends who were.
Is that kind of a group where you're like friends with 2 girls, but you're more than friends? Is that kind of what you're talking about?
No. The friend group I was with actually.
So you were with a group of friends.
Yes, it was a group of friends. Like.
Then why did you say it so weird?
I don't know.
I was in a friend group.
I was in a friend group.
I was in a friend group.
So anyways, though, but at the time, 2...
He was excited to have friends.
yes, I was so excited to just have friends, people who acknowledge my... Anyways, 2 of my friends in the group were actually, just like Damien, they were pretty much like too gay to function, so it was hilarious. Mm-hmm. And so basically this movie was like literally one big inside joke throughout the entire group of friends.
Okay.
And, so, like, we were always, talk about how they were too gay to function, or we were always, like, saying, anytime somebody did something good, we'd be like, you go, Glen Coco. Stuff like that. It was really, really great. We even used the word fetch on occasion, which was,
Everybody
funny.
uses the word fetch.
Yeah.
I told you.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie, it wasn't a thing, but it's a thing.
Yes, it became a thing.
Well,
but,
and that's the one thing that people remember when they remember that movie is fetch.
Fetch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like even the Glen Coco thing, I'd forgotten about it until I watched the movie again.
Yeah. But either way, yeah, the first one was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. I liked how I thought it was funny how Regina's mom was always just like let her do whatever she wants. Like she could literally just have a guy in her bed and they're getting ready to do it right in front of her mom and she's like, "Okay, well you guys have fun."
Literally, she walked it like Regina and this dude were like
I'll get you guys some wine coolers.
Getting hot and heavy, and she walked in and goes, "Use a rubber." Yeah. Okay, bye. I'm like, I would be so weirded out by that.
Yeah,
it's like she wanted to make herself a part of it just by going in the bedroom and saying, like you had to know that.
The whole part
of
of Amy Poehler as the mom was that she was the yes mom. Like, you can do whatever you want. I just want to make you happy.
Right.
But she wanted to be so involved in her life, but her daughter didn't care at all. That was why Polar's character was hilarious, because it was the try hard mom.
Right.
It was a mom that we didn't. You might.
She
not,
wasn't trying to be a mom. She was trying to be a best friend.
Well, not even just that. It was the mom. It might not have been your mom, but in high school you knew someone whose mom
was the cool mom.
Was just not just cool mom, but just wanted to be so involved in everything their kid did, and the kid was like, "Leave me alone.
Right.
I just want to fall asleep alone tonight. I don't want to hear you talking to me.
Right.
Just leave me alone." But let's get on to Mean Girls 2 so we can kind of compare.
So Mean Girls 2. So for those of you that don't know Mean Girls 1, it was pretty much the main character had moved from Africa. Okay. Well, in this movie, it wasn't that far of a distance. She'd moved from a different state. It was more likely a southern state. And her dad was built engines for NASCAR,
which I thought was awesome.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Which made her more of like, gave her more of that manly, because
it gave her a different flair than it had given.
Right. It gave Lindsay Lohan's character kind of like an innocence.
Yeah.
The fact that she was homeschooled and she had all these great
stories from her childhood, being in Africa.
Right.
She's from Michigan. You know about
yeah.
Black chick. She's from Michigan.
No, it was. She's like, I'm from Michigan.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow! I just remembered another part from the first one. Oh my God! You can't just ask people why they're white.
Just ask people why they're white.
No. Anyway, so the second movie, it was, she's pretty much moved a lot, and so she's developed this plan that she's going to keep her head down, not really make herself stand out at all.
Just stay the course.
Just go through school. She had her eyes set on Carnegie Mellon. Where her mom went to, and they actually added a good flair to this. It was a single father this time instead of a 2-parent home. It was a single father, which I liked. I thought it added something to it, and the girls were actually a lot more ruthless in this one.
Oh, they were.
They didn't just mess with. It wasn't just like, oh, she did this, she did this, she did. Like they were they were retaliating.
Oh yeah.
Like they came up with a thing called the anti-plastics. I really like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this girl ended up developing this thing called the anti-plastics.
Yeah.
And just like Lindsay Lohan, turning herself into a plastic.
Yeah.
But what the funny part about it was I lost my train of thought. Derailed.
That's all right. You want me to take over?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Well, no, actually, it's the same school, except one big continuity error, and this is not the one that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
The school is completely different. It's like they tore down the school and rebuilt it.
I was wondering if it was the same, because I knew
it's
Tim Meadows came back for the principal. I just didn't know if it was the same school.
It was supposed to be.
You see, I wasn't sure if the principal moved to a different school or what. I just know that was
No, I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be the same school.
Okay.
Anyway, so there was that, which really doesn't bother me that much. It looked like they upped, or at least they remodeled.
Yeah.
They did a major remodel.
A major remodel.
But one thing that they added is they added a lot of technology. Like they had video announcements.
Yep.
And one of the continuity errors, if you watch, there was a point when he turns on the camera.
Oh, the camcorder.
And he dances.
Yeah, the camcorder is in
and
front of
showed,
the camera that's recording
yes.
him.
Yep, I noticed that too.
Well, it was that was supposed to be the camera that broadcasts over the thing.
Yeah, but you're seeing
and then
the camera.
you're seeing the camera in the broadcast.
It was bad. I saw that too.
April pointed that out, and I said, "Why did you point that out? I didn't see it.
I
noticed
it
crap out of me."
Me too.
I saw that, and I was just like,
I didn't really pay that close attention to when it was on the screen.
Yeah,
because I knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I didn't get was it seemed like he was like turning the camera on to record himself doing the weird dancing, and then he turned it off. Like, why would you even record that?
I think he probably just did to record it, and
then he deleted it.
Well, he didn't know it was broadcasting.
No, that was the point. He didn't know that he was broadcasting. He just thought he was recording.
However, one thing I want to point out: that scene was completely useless.
Yeah, it served no purpose.
It wasn't even funny. It was just like, oh, it's Tim Meadows doing something from the '80s. He did on SNL.
I thought it was funny.
I didn't think it was that funny.
I thought it was kind of funny.
I was like, oh, that's nice.
No, anyway, so and actually at one point, going back to the Mean Girls,
yeah,
the actresses that play the Mean Girls, their characters were actually very ruthless. Like they went and sabotaged the main character's car.
Oh, that
her
made
father's
me.
car. Oh,
that
I
made
got
me
bad.
Oh man.
They put
That
sugar.
was
Sugar in the gas tank along
Yeah.
with coffee. I think it was.
Yeah, which I mean that's an old school way to mess up an engine.
That would
or
be.
it screws an engine.
That would
You-
be something that would put me like. There's not a lot of things that would set me over the edge, but that would set me down on a murder
Which
path if somebody did that to my car.
I was laughing at the movie at that point because everyone's like, no, she didn't deserve to be smacked. Don't stoop down to her level. It's like, no, she ruined her father. She ruined the main character's father's business. She should get punched. Like hard.
She should be hospitalized.
Like I'm talking about like a suplex like to hell. Like seriously, like why is everyone stopping this?
Like this
Right.
is lawsuit level stuff.
Exactly.
Like oh man, it made me so oh man, I was just
And so some of the actresses that played in this movie,
I didn't like about the actresses. I recognized them from Disney,
they
and
were.
I knew that they weren't going to be that good.
I thought they were pretty good.
They were okay, but
I liked
it's,
them.
it's because I knew what roles they were first.
I'm
I
trying
was
to
like,
remember.
"Eh."
You had Megan Martin, and she played the character JoJo
Yeah.
or Joe. And then you had a rich dad, the poor dad. You had Claire Holt who played Chastity Meyer.
Wait.
What?
The names of the fathers in this.
No. I was
Okay. I was gonna say, did they seriously?
No,
give
it was
the
Sydney
poor dad?
Hanover and Rod Mitchell, but it's.
Okay.
I feel like that's irrelevant at this point.
It is, but
And then they had Mariah Walsh play Mandy Weatherly. Who she was actually kind of a big Disney Channel star for a while. What'd she play in? She played in Cory in the House, right?
who the main plastic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was her only credit to Disney, I think. I don't think she did anything else really.
Are you sure? Because I thought she had her own show for a while. Apparently, she played in Desperate Housewives
Good for her.
and Secret Life of the American Teenager,
Good for her.
Vampire Diaries,
Don't
I've only
care.
heard of a couple of
Agents of Shields.
She was in that?
Right.
Yeah.
I'll have to go rewatch it.
Switched at Birth.
Interesting.
But
I felt like there was a lot more sexism in the second movie. Like I felt like there
I
was
think
like a
it
sexism
was
theme behind
forced
it.
sexism.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I-
it wasn't even like accidental. Like stuff. Like it was put in there purposefully. Like I don't know when this movie was made. Like when was this movie
It was
grossed?
made in 2011.
2011. All right.
Really?
So
Yes.
Wow.
2011, and I mean it was fabricated or sexism. Like here, like I was talking to my sister after I watched it. Like the one scene
Did
where
you watch it with your sister again?
she came in halfway through.
Oh, okay.
But you know, when she walks into her first day of shop class, the main character Joe walks into her first day of shop class,
Yeah.
and the teacher's like, "Home ec's down the hall, sweetie," and she's like, "Well, aside from that sexist remark, it's like, lady, listen, no girl takes shop class normally. Like I don't remember girls purposefully taking any kind of manual labor class in high school. We didn't have many at Clarkson.
Oh, she played in 10 Things I Hate About You. That's what I know her from.
I don't think my high school even had shop class anymore.
Yeah, like it's kind of faded out, but so the fact that there's even shop class in this high school is really astounding.
Right.
But it's like it's not. I mean, yes, it is a sexist remark, but that shouldn't be a surprising sexist remark.
No,
Right.
I
Like
guess not.
that's like say, like if I were to go and say, yes, I would like to become a model. You'd be like,
You sure about that?
No offense, dude, but you're kind of bulky, and
You're a bulldozer.
and you don't look like a model. And I wouldn't be offended by that because I don't look like a model. Also, because I don't shave. Anything.
Shaving should be a crime.
It should be a crime. But you know, so
I love my beard.
and then there's one other when one of the high school boys try to like pretend like he was grabbing her ass, right?
You're right.
I think
yeah.
I missed that part.
Well, she ended up like grabbing his hand and like twisting it, and it was like the fake bone crack
Right.
sound. Like, oh wow, she twisted his hand, she cracked like his wrist.
Right.
I think I was typing in my review and
They're
missed
going
that
like,
part.
no, she didn't. This anorexic looking, skinny wrist teenage girl did not just
I
twist this man's arm hard enough to crack it. I'm like if they had gotten a bigger not like chunky girl to play Joe.
Right.
But if they had gotten more of an average-sized woman to play her, I would have believed that. I've been like, okay, so she's been working with her dad for many years. She's got like strong forearm muscles. She's got powerful hands. She's been working on cars for a whole time.
She's got man hands.
She's got man hands. But this like limp-wristed like grab and twist thing. It's like I'm like that's not even believable. But
well, you know one thing that I did like that they
What?
changed. They had one of the geeky girls be rich, and that was something that I really liked.
Yeah, that was a cool touch.
It was what was her first name? It was Anna Hanover.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? That makes me think too. Another part
I
that
wasn't done.
Go ahead.
Calm yourself.
I'm calming.
No, but in the first one, if you noticed, like all the plastics were rich,
and everyone else
and everybody else was poor.
Yeah.
In this one, you had there were people who had rich parents and things like that, but you had the main character who was Joe.
And her best friend is.
And her best friend was super rich, but didn't dress like it, didn't flaunt it.
Yeah.
Her parents were just trying to pretty much make her happy.
Yeah.
And I love kind of like the underlying story that was going on about, because if you haven't seen this movie, the dad of this girl pays the main character to be your friend.
Yeah.
And then he made a comment in the movie that I love, and he said, a deal's the deal. He's like, I knew once she got to know her that she would like her.
Yeah.
And I love how that was kind of like an underlying, like, it wasn't really like he was paying her to be, he was just trying to get her to
give her a chance.
Give her a chance. He was trying to be.
He knew his daughter needed a friend.
Right.
You were talking about earlier how much more vindictive these girls were in this movie.
Yes.
And I actually liked it a whole lot more.
Oh yeah.
Because
well, before it was kind of petty things.
It was petty things, and so there's kind of a fine line for me. I was glad they were a little more, evil in this one, but at the same time, it's like okay, because some of the overboardness was like okay, I know this is supposed to be taught from like or made from like the opinions of a high schooler,
right?
But it's like there's even a high schooler watching, be like that's not how high school works. Like this doesn't happen in high school. These like outrageous acts of like aggression don't typically happen. If the only aggressive act is, well, I'm going to punch you in the face and you're going to punch me in the face and then we're going to keep punching each other in the face.
Right.
But some of the cruel like the Epicac and the pizza.
Yeah.
Like that's genius. That was genius.
That was great.
First of all, I just have to say I absolutely I loved how it backfired.
Oh yeah, it did. It was great.
No, I loved how she caught it. She smelled it. She's like, wait a minute, because she had happened to see someone pay the.
Yeah.
Which my question is, why didn't you call the pizza boy over, pay him at your place, and then send him over with the tainted pizza?
Yeah, I don't know either. That seems kind of weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, but
I did like how they fed it to the boyfriend.
Yeah, and he puked on her. No,
brilliant. I laughed so hard.
Me too.
Yeah, but like I did like how the girls were a lot more like just cruel in this one. The other difference in this movie that from the first one that I liked a lot was that in the first one the idea was that Lindsay Lohan's gonna infiltrate the plastics,
right,
and she's gonna dismantle them from the inside out.
Which she did
after she herself ended up becoming one.
Right.
And then in the second one, Mean Girls 2, she did kind of become a plastic.
Right.
In a way.
She was like a self-created plastic.
Yeah, so she wasn't hanging out with them and then became one. Which as I thought was exactly what was going to happen. But she just did her own thing and then she just decided to get revenge. Justified revenge, honestly.
Right.
And that's the issue I have with this movie is that everyone's like, your revenge isn't justified. I'm like, no, the revenge is totally justified. If anything, in the first one there should have been more revenge. I did honestly miss the bleacher part in the first one. When they all sit down. Who here's been victimized by Regina George and every girl raises their hand.
And wait,
I missed that in the second one. I wish they had another scene like that.
Well, you know what was funny?
Replaced by a powder puff football game.
Did you realize that all the teachers raised their hand too?
Oh yeah, now yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was one of my
even Duvall was like.
Well,
yeah.
And then if you didn't know, I don't know if you realize this, but there was a point when they're like sharing their feelings.
Yeah.
They're like, Damien's like, she didn't even go to this school, and he's wearing like a hoodie and glasses. And I'm pretty sure that was Drew Barrymore.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure. Let me look it up, but I'm pretty sure that was Drew Barrymore. And it was this character, and she's like, Tina Fey's like, do you even go to the school? She's like, no, I just have a lot of feelings.
That is funny.
But yeah, I did like the changes in the evilness to the girls. I thought some of the story was a little herky jerky as far as how it was paced and how well it came across. I think it probably could have been told quicker.
I liked how like little factors played in later. Like the one guy who thought it's like, oh, are those illegal racing parts? He sets up cameras, and those ended up being a key deciding factor later in the movie.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
That was cool. And I love how they played it too. They played him as a paranoid person. That's what. So they gave a backstory as to why there was cameras pointed in the direction that.
Yeah, it didn't just skip over that.
Right.
Yeah.
Which a lot of movies do, and that's one thing that I really hate is when they'll gloss over that little detail, and then you're sitting there. Why the hell's the cameras?
Yeah.
Who put the cameras up? Like
it's kind of like the Lost World Jurassic Park when the dead guy's on the boat, and people are like, it doesn't clarify why the guy is dead, but really in the behind the scenes there were raptors on the boat too.
Right.
Stuff like that. And
it's like stuff like that they cut out of the movie. It's like that's a key factor right there. You got to put that in there.
But that in the biggest issue, like I said, is in the first one they had a huge sit down, which was funny.
Yeah.
Being funny. But in this one, they had a powder puff football game.
I thought that was funny.
It was okay.
I liked it.
It was okay. However, there's no reason that they should have won. If you look at the stacked deck that they had against them, there was no way that they should have. Like, I understand it's an underdog story and the underdog wins.
Yeah, like, I don't even get how they got any points.
But the fact, it's like, yeah, and what's her name recruited a national martial arts or national karate champion.
Hang on. Apparently that girl is not Drew Barrymore.
Oh, well.
Not to mention the rugby captain.
The rugby
captain. Come on, rugby.
And then a fifth-year senior who doesn't feel pain. I'm like, you should not have won. Like, your team legitimately, they saw her coming, and they ran the opposite way in one scene.
Right.
Like, I'm like, this score should not have been close enough for you to have 3 trick plays to come back and win.
It's like Twigs versus Rocks.
Exactly.
Right.
What was the one other thing? The weird nerdy guy. Remember how there was
Yeah.
Like that was he replaced the one guy that Janice ends up dating at the very end.
Yeah.
The
mathlete.
Yeah, the mathlete. He replaces him. But he's like really he's way too involved in the story for being just this really kind of
background character.
Creepy, honestly, because he just kind of smiles the entire time he's on camera.
Right.
He's Hey.
Wasn't he also the guy who was like dancing with a plant at one point?
He was dancing with a plant.
I missed that.
It was at the party.
He was trying to hit on the girl.
Right.
Oh, okay. I just have to add another thing that I loved with this movie was how like they were both throwing a party and just out of natural reaction, everybody decided to go to the one girl's party instead of the shallow, plastics party. Like,
yeah.
It's just like, yeah, this person's more likable. I would much rather go to their party.
I love how there was a betrayal.
Yes.
That was a really good. So it was the yearbook editor was with the anti-plastics, but if you paid attention to her close enough, and I did this time around, you realize that she really admired like she was obsessed with the plastic. She wanted to be one.
Oh, big time.
And so I love in the ending, where she ended up. I thought it was a good spot.
Yeah, well, I actually didn't like that too much.
She ended up being like the head plastic at the end, didn't she?
Yeah, I was like, okay, so you kind of the idea was like, well, she promised that she wouldn't become as bad as what's her name.
No.
Like, well,
she promised she wouldn't mess with the senior class. Is what it said.
Oh yeah.
It said she promised she wouldn't mess with the senior class.
It did say something about the senior class.
Which I was like, okay, well, she's obviously not as rich as the one girl.
Right.
But I'm like, if she wants to, this is supposed to be high school. This whole entire movie was about backstabbing.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure she probably would have screwed something up. But I mean, don't get me wrong. That wasn't like a deal
Right.
breaker or anything for this movie. No, I just had a sinking feeling the entire time watching this. I'm like, when is this gonna just drop? And like hard, like it's going to do something that is not recoverable, that does not, regardless of what the rest of the movie does, it will not save it because this drop in quality.
Did it?
No, it didn't. Not at all. I thought it was overall a really good movie. Just kind of like went through itself, and it's like, yeah, that's what happened. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And I was
Next question. Would you watch it again?
No, probably not.
No.
No.
Like not in a few years, you wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, it was good. Like I said, I think probably my biggest issue with the movie
was the Potter football game.
Well, no, that wasn't it. No, I can handle that, because it was a different way to settle the issue, other than sitting down and talking about your feelings. No, my bigger issue was more with the lead actress. She did well. I just thought, can we get someone and the plastics too? Can we get someone that looks more like a actual human being? Because like all three of the not so much all three, but two of the plastics and the one lead, they were like twigs. Not even like.
Yeah, they didn't really seem real.
They didn't, like,
right.
Especially because like, okay, these girls clearly aren't 16 years old or whatever. They're clearly in their 20s, and they're pretending to be 16 years old.
Especially Chastity.
Which can we please take a moment and pause and just reflect on all the extras that were clearly closer to 30 than they were 15 that had to play 15-year-olds.
Right.
Give them a round of applause for trying so dang hard, because that's not easy. But no, like I said, my biggest issue was just with her. Overall,
right.
She wasn't bad by any stretch of the means, or in any way. But she just kind of rubbed me the wrong way as far as, okay, well, she's supposed to be, Rosie the Riveter type of girl.
Right.
But she looks like if she picked up a baseball bat, she'd probably shatter her own forearm.
Yeah, it does look like that.
I mean, it didn't break the movie. It wasn't something I was like, I couldn't deal with. I just think that they could have had that, and she knows she did for a good portion of the movie that annoyed me.
What?
She did the Kristen Stewart mouth open. You could see like the bottom row of her teeth.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It looks like she's a mouth breather all the time, not just because her nose and stuff is.
Kind of like the guy from Hey Arnold who was always a.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, God.
Exactly. So I'm just like, get closer. You can emote, and that was my other issue with her. She really didn't emote at all. Like everyone else kind of had like facial expressions, especially
nothing.
Especially the plastics. I mean, they're supposed to be like, Right. But that was the other thing I liked actually about this movie. The plastics were more fleshed out. Who they were as people.
Yes, it was. Because before it was like, her dad invented the toaster strudel.
And
she's dumb
rich.
As a box of rocks.
And she's just pretty.
She's just pretty.
And I mean, they're all rich, but
yeah, they were more well, and I love how they had
and they used it too. They didn't say, well, this person's a hypochondriac. She's afraid of germs. She thinks that germs make you ugly, and if you're ugly, you die. They ended up working out later in the movie that, hey, she's a hypochondriac. We're going to screw with her phobia.
Right.
And then the other one, the taller one, Chastity. I hated the ending. Chastity joined the abstinence club. It's like, shut up. That's the easiest ending you could have to someone with the name Chastity. But is that, it's like, oh, she has a libido the size of the Empire State Building. Okay, good. How is that going to be used? Oh, it was used because we found that's how it led to the split between her and the main plastic girl. Right. So
You know, one of the pranks I really liked was the mixed seaweed cream with the henna ink.
Yes.
I thought that was pretty
That
great.
was funny when they dyed her skin green. It reminded me of the first Big Fat Liar. That's what it reminded me of.
Dyed him skin blue. Yeah.
Why didn't you pick me up? I don't pick up ogres.
Okay.
That was
Savage.
funny. There's one more thing I was thinking about. Oh, I really loved how they had, because as I said before, they had a whole bunch of kind of little storylines running through this thing. One of the major ones is they told why this girl was
So mean
to the other girl that was rich.
Yeah.
And apparently it was because they lived across the street from each other, and the one who was the plastic got bought everything. The one who was not the plastic got bought better stuff.
Yeah.
Like a hand-stitched Marie Antoinette costume.
Yeah.
That looked fantastic.
So she was just jealous because her was always number 2.
Right. And she wanted to be number 1.
Yeah.
And in the end, she ended up being number 2. And can I say, the tramp stamp of the butterfly?
Jeez.
that was great.
I was like, that's an awkward thing because she's supposed to be 16. But,
Well, she clearly wasn't
Well, I know she wasn't, but like the deciding factor at the end to find out if that was really her in the car.
I like how that backfired.
It was the main character holding up her shirt saying, "Principal, look at her tramp stamp." And he's just kind of going from his phone back to her. Yeah.
Like it's gonna take that long.
he was checking out her butt.
It really is her.
It did. Yeah, it wasn't gonna take that long to identify the tattoo.
No, but anyway. So
that's it. Cool. She's going to jail.
She's going to jail. I do love how she kept it up too. She's like, do you know who my dad is? Do you know who my mom is? She's gonna sue you, blah blah blah, blah. And that didn't end up happening. The mom ended up just donating money.
Yeah.
Like I love how the mom is like, okay, I'm gonna use money to bail you out, but
you're gonna pay for it still.
You're gonna pay for it still, and she did, and that's what I love, because I feel like a lot of kids these days, like their parents will just get them out of it.
Well, see, here's the thing. In the first one, her comeuppance was she got hit by a bus.
Yes.
And in this one, it was you're just gonna pay for it.
She went to jail.
You're gonna do community service. You're gonna do stuff.
It was definitely more realistic.
And then one final thing.
Yeah.
Can I point out, if this school is as big as they make it to be,
why
was the football field so small?
Oh my gosh! I was like,
and April goes, "That's a soccer field, right?" I said, "No, they clearly said it was a football field."
Yeah.
Didn't they say it was at like the local park?
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm sitting there going like, if this high school is this nice, so I mean, the only thing I can think of is that
they spent all the money remodeling the school.
That or the school actually has a great football stadium, but they couldn't find enough extras to actually come to this thing.
Right.
Like if you look at the sidelines of that game, there was like 1/3 of the actual extras we've seen in the entire movie.
Right.
And then they put 1/3 of those guys, 1/3 of the entire extras in that.
Well, even the original couldn't have filled up a football stadium.
No, it couldn't.
It's not like what was that movie with my wife in it? A Cinderella Story.
Okay, yeah.
Because they actually filled up or at least a good chunk of it.
Yeah.
And made it look like it was a full stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yeah, I thought that they were good. I've always liked Mean Girls too. I thought it was good enough to stand on its own.
Oh yeah. It was definitely. It wasn't. I mean, I wouldn't say it's out of the shadow completely of Mean Girls.
It wasn't their complete carbon copy.
Yeah, but it was different enough to where it has its own.
Which is the problem that we've been having. I feel like with a lot of movies, they've just been pretty much like it's almost like when they make the movie, they make a carbon copy and then they publish that years later, and it's a lot crappier. Like I said, Hangover 1 and 2. 1 was fantastic. I laughed so hard at that movie. Watched it 15 times, and it was great.
But the second one was
I watched
so much
the second
the same.
one once, and I literally watched both of them with my stepdad.
Yeah.
And he's like, "This one's just trying too hard to be the first one."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "That's exactly what it is." Because they even tried to do the Ed Helms song again when he's sitting in a canoe, and I'm like, "That's just not going to work. You're not going to be able to recreate the
feeling,
the just that song. That song became so popular. You remember what I'm talking about?
No, not really.
It was like, What do tigers dream of when they take a little tiger snooze? It was literally a whole bunch of. Have you never heard that song?
No, I haven't.
Oh my god!
we
I've
may
never
have-
actually heard the song, but you know what? One of the parties that I was editing at my new job, these kids were doing like speeches for the kid who was having the bar mitzvah,
Yeah.
and they were trying to do like a wolf pack thing or whatever, and they started playing the tiger song in the background.
Oh gosh.
I'm not gonna lie, it was
Painful?
pretty. I mean, let me put it this way:
Was it bad?
this is a party full of 13-year-olds. There's not really gonna be a lot that's like, oh, that's really cool. It's gonna be like,
13-year-olds.
this is totally a
Okay,
party
hang
for
on.
13-year-olds.
Hang on.
13-year-olds.
So-
and a
so
very
here's the
confused
song that
Jewish
I was
grandpa in
referring
the
to.
corner.
Yeah.
What?
There's a lot of it. There is a lot of that. I mean, like all these bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs, they are literally the same thing over and over again. I have to say, it's
You ready?
editing it is not that.
Yeah, let's
glamorous.
go. Let's hear it.
Here we go.
What do tigers dream of when they take a little tiger snooze? Do they dream of mauling zebras or Halle Berry in her Catwoman suit? Well, don't you worry, your pretty striped head. We're gonna get you back to Tyson and your cozy tiger bed. And then we're gonna find our best friend Doug, and then we're gonna give him a best friend hug. Doug, Doug, oh, Doug, 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 Doug. But if he's been murdered by crystal meth tweakers, then we're shit out of luck.
So you see how that
I
was
love
funny,
that last
right?
part.
Yeah, but if that
So they were trying to recreate that, and it
Yeah.
just didn't happen. And it was like it was just him in a kayak, and he was trying to sing this.
Do you
little
have that
song.
one too?
I'm
You're about
looking
to play
for
it, right?
No, but
we can listen to it after the show.
yeah. Anyway, no. So I just, but that was so funny, and then they tried to recreate that. I'm like, you can't recreate that.
No.
That was
it's-
funny enough and towards the plot line enough
Yeah, that it made sense.
that it made sense and it was funny
I think-
because they were waiting for the tiger to fall asleep.
I think the biggest part
Is
about
what
the
they-
second one I liked was the drug dealer monkey. That was probably like the only part of the second one I really.
Well,
cared for.
and this one was, and like I said, this one,
This one,
yes,
This
this
one.
one, this one.
right? This one.
They had just given the tiger sleeping pills, and they were, so it was purposeful. They were just waiting around,
Yeah.
and so he just sits down at a piano, which Mike Tyson had been playing earlier. So it wasn't like there's just a random piano. It was, it was there. It was in a suite.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mike Tyson was playing it earlier. So then they brought it back, and he's like, "Well, we're sitting here waiting. I'm just gonna
Play a ditty.
just
Yeah.
play a little ditty." And then the next time they have him in a canoe with a guitar,
Oh my god.
and it was kind of like, have you ever seen Something About Mary?
No.
Oh, okay. So in Something About Mary, there's this
But
thing where there's this guy playing a guitar in
Yeah.
between scenes,
Yeah.
and it kind of explains the story. That's kind of what they tried to do with Ed Helms, and I'm like, no, this just doesn't. No,
No, it
No,
doesn't
it
work.
just
No.
it doesn't work. You just need to stop.
But yeah, so overall, Mean Girls 2, Aaron.
Fantastic.
Both good movies. I would say watch them. I don't know about rewatch them, but definitely worth watching.
Okay, I'm giving it. What did we make our scale out of? Was it out
10?
of 5?
Let's make it a 7.
Out of 7?
Out of
Seven's weird.
7.
It was
Seven's
out of
weird.
10 originally, I thought.
Oh, we're downsizing.
All right.
What?
March back. We had to spread it out.
What
more
would we?
Okay,
Budget
then.
cuts?
Budget cuts.
Okay.
Budget cuts. Yeah, we'll go with that
I'll
one.
give it a 5 out of 7.
It's communism. That's why.
Out of 7. 5 out of 7.
5 out of 7.
It just
5
sounds
out of-
weird.
5 out of 7. It does.
I give the first one a 6 out of
Oh
7.
no, we were doing stars. We were doing 5 stars. Because Netflix had gotten rid of stars.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. You're right.
Okay,
So
so I
now
give
we're
it
doing
3.
stars.
3.
3 stars.
3. So, for both of them or just
Well,
one?
the ratio's
both.
off then.
Both,
If
okay.
a 5 out of 7 isn't the same out of a 3 out of 5.
It's all right. Don't worry.
It's fine.
Budget cuts.
Budget cuts.
Okay. All right, 3 out of 5. I guess that's fine.
I would give the first one a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
I'd give the second one a 2 out of 5.
A 2.
A
Only
two.
a 2?
I'll give it a 3.
I can't because
Honestly-
budget cuts I can't. Okay, I'll give 2.5. 2.5.
I'll give.
Okay,
2.5.
I'll take 2.5.
because partly the third star.
I'll
Right.
give the first one 3.5, and I'll give the second one a 3.
I'll give them both 3. Well, no, I'll go 4 with the first one,
Yeah.
and then 3 with the second one.
I just
Fair enough.
Second one was good, but it was still a little off.
Right.
But yeah,
Worth a watch, not a rewatch.
yeah, probably.
Okay, guys. So any last remarks, comments?
Just keep your mind out of the gutter.
There you go.
Keep it fetch.
Gosh dang it.
Fetch is not a thing, Mark. Stop trying to make fetch a thing. Okay, well, I guess that's it for this week's. Stay tuned, stay tuned next week to see what the movies, the Netflix pick of the week are going to be next week. We're probably going to pick them right after the show. And with that being said, I'm Aaron Klingsmith.
I'm Lucas Sanders.
And I'm Mark Wilson.
Signing off.